So here we are in Sutro Canyon, and Sutro Tunnel is right over behind that little rise there. You can see the tailings over here. So this pretty much follows the tunnel all the way up to Virginia City, and it has air shafts 1 through 3 in the canyon, and then 4 is up over the ridge up there. So we're going to hike up there and check out and see what we can see of the old air stations there. Now I'm feeling lazy, so I'm not going to go up there today, but up on that rock mount on that hill, there's an old structure in a somewhat dug out spot, but I don't know if that was an official air tunnel or not, or air shaft, because it is in line with the tunnel, but I've never known for sure what it is, because there's no dirt or tailings up there from when they would have dug down to meet the tunnel. But I'm never sure if it is, but there is a big structure, I mean fairly substantial. You can kind of see the wall over to the left there, but I'm not 100% sure what it actually was, if it is considered, because I think I've seen 3 other ones that are dug out up here that were official air shafts. So I'm not sure what that was, because it's awfully close as the crow flies to the entrance of the tunnel. So I'll have to do some more research on that. Yeah, so we'll go up here, up this about, I don't know, probably next hour or 2 to get to the top, and then we'll check out the shafts as I find them. And this would have been, horse and buggy up this road, and you can see they did a lot of road or rock work to keep it from washing out. Back in the day, there's walls all the way up this canyon, and there's quite a few people up here. So there are bunkhouses, all kinds of stuff built out up here that you'll see remnants and foundations of. So it's a pretty happening canyon back in the day. But I'll head up this way a bit. And this road, the only reason it's still here, luckily, is for the side-by-sides and dirt bikes are going up and down it constantly, so it keeps it mostly accessible. I think the Virginia City Grand Prix motorcycle race comes down here too a lot, so it keeps it usable, which is nice. It makes getting up to all these places a lot easier. You can see it's slowly turning into a hillside here. And we'll be probably completely covered here eventually. See this? I'm always impressed by these big old rock walls you'll find up here. They did for retaining walls on roads. You can see it here. Those are some giant rocks. And they didn't have skid steers or excavators, backhoes, all moved by hand, horse in hand. You see these all over out here in the middle of nowhere. It's always so impressive to see it. The effort it takes. Now everything's so easy with all the equipment we have. also to think about, I think the tunnel's like graffiti. Fucking idiots. But the tunnel, I think, is about 4 miles long, which is, if you think about it, it's going under mountain range right here. And they had no GPS, no laser measurements, nothing. Just all done by hand and eye to be able to connect the entrance there all the way up there to hit the Savage Mine shaft. It's pretty impressive when you think about it, what little they had to work with back then. You see what I was talking about, the road being accessible, because this gets some pretty gnarly floods through here. I've come up here when it's water side to side, 3 or 4 feet deep, just tearing through here, and it doesn't leave much of the road left, obviously. But the rock crawler guys and 4x4 dudes will come up here and then go up and down it 100 times, and it makes it somewhat back into a road. And it's down to the bedrock here, you can see. But yeah, this gets pretty tore up. It's a very fun ride on a dirt bike. I've been up it several times. Never taken a side-by-side up. It's just, I don't want to beat the shit out of it too much. Keep that for the wide open fire trails and save the rough shit for the dirt bike. Yeah, you can imagine trying to maintain this back in the day for horse and buggy. Be a full-time gig. I wonder if I should go up. I'll go around this bend and see. Alright, so coming up the road here, there's air shaft 1, I believe. Like I said, I don't know if that first one's considered one, but that's one there for sure. And if you look over here, you can see the foundation of a building, fairly good sized. So all of these air shafts had a bunkhouse and some other various maintenance shops and other living quarters for the people that were up here working. So these ones are more permanent structures. And you can kind of see there's Square nails everywhere, bits of glass. As you can see, it's about, I don't know, maybe 20 by 15. And then over here, you'll see at the places where there were more permanent structures, a root cellar, even though it's not a cellar, it's just a hole in the ground. They usually dug down 4 or 5 feet, rocked it out, and then where they would store all their perishables, keep it nice and cool. So you can find some cool stuff in them. Metal detecting is tough because there's so much, just looking around, there's metal everywhere. So it's kind of hard, and there's been, I'm sure, thousands of people up here over the years. It's a very known area, so you probably won't find much, but you can kind of see a little bit of the wall left, but that's the little cellar for them. Usually always on the back side of the house. But you can see there's a little structure here. Still got some old tin cans. Lots of glass and steel. You can see there's another little foundation there of something. And a little bottle. Won't find much still surviving up here. You see a rock wall there. So this might have been the bunkhouse because it is a bigger building. And some of those old pictures you can see of this place, they were 2-story and fairly well built. Fortunately, everything out in the west either burns down, snow crushes it flat, or people will steal every last piece of it, which sucks, but what can you do? People are people. See another structure in here, a rock wall, and then there's the air shaft over there. And there are some really cool, on a side note, up on those cliffs, really cool little caves and crevices. Been up there a few times, but it doesn't look that far, but that is a trek and a half getting up there. Which I don't, like I said, I'm feeling lazy today, so I'm not going to hit that, but definitely some cool spots up on those cliffs. Here you can see they kind of probably had a little bridge over here at some point to avoid the washout of the road. So you kind of see a buttress there to span across. But like I said, a lot of work up here in the middle of nowhere. But back then everything was the middle of nowhere, so. And you can see every hillside you look at, you'll see some switchbacks with rock walls going back out of the canyon. I think a lot of those were used to get the lumber out. It's pretty much every canyon in this area has roads, switchbacks and trails into it for hauling out lumber, because they needed all the wood for the kilns and all that. So you'll find that pretty much everywhere, even out in the middle of nowhere, you'll find them. So, so here's what was missing with that first one, is all the piles of dirt from excavating the shaft. So that's why I don't know if that first one was actually anything to do with an air shaft. Just in a weird place for anything else. And there's what's left of this one. Not a whole lot. All the dirt. You can see it used to be walled in, but it's all since caved in. bricks everywhere. Big old foundation for, I'm assuming, the pulley system to bring dirt and stuff out of the shaft. Unfortunately, not much left, but there are quite a few pictures if you can find. Not a lot of them are marked, but you can kind of you know, assign them to where they're from. Just kind of get the lay of the land and look for landmarks. But there are a ton of pictures out there. See the old brickwork on top of that rock wall is pretty cool. Bricks everywhere, so I'm guessing there's a lot more brick structure at one point. Let's see what's over here. Not too much left. There's one of those switchbacks going down up the hill. See the rock wall? So that's the road we'll take, but so there's, I believe, number one. Occasionally you'll see metal poles on the side of the hill that are, 8 to 10 feet tall, and I'm wondering if those were site markers to keep the shaft going straight, or to line up the air shafts with it, because I found a few out here that I don't see any other reason for them. But let's keep going up this hill here. And onwards and upwards. Bed liner down there. We are about a mile up the road from the last air shaft one. Not much up here, still a lot of rock walls, a lot of switchbacks. It's just very steep, very rocky, and I don't believe many people want to hear my heavy breathing, so I'm not going to record much from here. But next time I'll get back with you is up. You see that big rock wall there, up on by the rim of that mountain there. That's where we're headed to next. We'll see you there.